This video that we're showing you right now is going to be coming from Redfin, the CEO of one of the biggest real estate companies in the U.S.
Nobody was selling in March or April unless she absolutely had to. There was a sign of distress or panic in the market, and so sellers just withdrew. There weren't many foreclosures because we've got so much forbearance in the lending markets, and that just means there was very little inventory. In April, inventory was down 25%, even though demand is nearly at 100%.
What's your take on whether or not this is the right strategy? I mean, is your forecast that the market will dramatically improve? Because that effectively is a bet on the consumer, is a bet on the economy, and a bet that this historically high unemployment rate will return to normal.
Well, I think it's a tale of two economies right now. The people who have lost their jobs are not the ones looking for houses, but housing has in some ways become a luxury good in America. Most affluent Americans are the ones who own homes. Home ownership rates are down about 10% since the great financial crisis. So we're seeing the people who have money buying houses in force and the inventory just being very low. So there could be another shock to the economy. Everyone's worried that this coronavirus will come back in force. And if that happens, I think it'll really take its toll on the housing market. But for now, buyers are coming out of the woodwork, and sooner or later that will lure sellers into the market just because it's driving prices up. People are gaining confidence that they can put their home on the market and really sell.
You look around the country, Glenn, and where do you see markets that are going to be in trouble and distressed potentially, and where do you see the opportunity?
Yeah, well, I'm worried about the big cities. If you look, Americans who are working from home for the first time, 1 in 4 say they're not going back to the office. And half of those people say they're not going to pay the rent to live in New York, San Francisco, or even Seattle. So we expect there will be something close to an exodus from these really large cities where housing is so expensive to places like Charleston or Madison, Wisconsin, or Boise, Idaho, places where it's just more affordable and you can still walk around town a little bit. That's where the search traffic has already shifted on our website. If you look where people are searching on redfin.com, it is overwhelmingly in small towns. And that's even when the search traffic is coming from the big city. So that's what I'm most worried about, is that the big cities really have to get it in gear to make housing more affordable, or people are just going to go.
You know, there have been so many dire predictions in the past regarding New York City specifically and the real estate market, Glenn, as you know. I mean, after 9/11, they thought that the real estate market there would be gone when nobody would want to live in New York City anymore. And then look where it went after that in terms of luxury building and the influx of residents. So, I mean, how confident are you that this sort of prediction is going to hold true this time around? What has changed that makes it more resonant?
Well, I think 9/11 was this incredible event that made people question whether they wanted to live in a big city, but it wasn't as durable as what we're going through now. There was an affordability crisis for 5 years before this pandemic. And if you look at New York, it was losing people to Philly. Boston was losing people to Rhode Island and New Hampshire. Seattle was losing people to Portland and Austin, Texas. So the major cities were already losing people prior to the pandemic. And some of that was because of virtualization, where folks were telecommuting from other cities. And now I just think it's a really strong trend that people are going to stay at home in some cases. I can't wait to get back to the office. Not everyone's going to do that. And I love cities. I live in the center of a city. I love New York too. So I don't want to bet against those cities in some permanent way, but I do think that the search traffic and the long-term trend are both pointing in the same direction, which is outside of town.
You know, another trend that may emerge and may prove to be lasting, Glenn, is that people may not want to travel more in the way that they used to. I mean, right now, the idea of staying at a hotel is not really appealing to me. Are you finding that there's been an uptick in interest in buying vacation homes?
No. So if we were to look at the one group of people who are selling in greater numbers, it would be people who have investment properties. So if you are renting out a place on Airbnb, right now is just costing you so much money. It used to be that you could get somebody to pay your mortgage in the second or third week of every month. But now the challenge is that none of those people are traveling. And so the owners of those properties are listing them in great numbers. And in some ways, you can almost see Airbnb's loss as the gain of some of these iBuyers that are trying to provide liquidity in these vacation markets.
So everybody, you know what was really interesting was this video. Once again, me and Louis had been looking at some of our statistics and our search traffic, and we were tracking it, and we were already having these same conversations. So what the CEO of Redfin just explained was something that we are also seeing here with our clients and on the leads and the people that are coming down. We're seeing people that are wanting to leave the big cities.
Thank you for watching our video. If you're planning on buying real estate in the Rosarito Beach area, make sure to give us a call. Have a great day, everybody.